Hey, first graders, welcome back. This is actually your last spelling pattern of first grade. So I wore Highlands Hawks in honor of that. It's probably not something you're going to miss very much, but it is something, it's a definite spelling sound that you guys actually asked me about a lot back when we were still in school. It's the ah sound. So it's like, aw, she's so cute. Aw, the puppy's so cute. It's that sound. And we hear it like in saw. So that was, which most of you would ask me about, was the word saw. And so I'm just going to give you some examples real quick right here of some different ways to spell it. Now, again, there's no trick. Just like last week, our spelling pattern was there was no trick to telling when to use which letters. The exact same thing is with this sound. There's no trick. So the more you read, the better you get at reading, the more your eyes will naturally know which letters go in each word. And also it just takes a lot of practice. So that's why for especially these sounds, we do our spelling sentences. Because there's just no way to know unless you practice writing them and practice reading them. So I'm just going to give you a couple different examples of when it's just the A, and that would be in a word like ball, b, all, or w, all, or t, all. Okay, so there are some examples of that. Now, for some examples for a W, it would be like saw, I'm actually reading out of your book right now because I want to make sure I use words that they've given you. Draw, straw, okay, and then AU, and that gets a little bit tricky. Let me see if I can find. AU would be like in the word pause. I'm going to pause for a second and check in the book to see what words they gave. Pause is one. Okay. Another one that they gave is fault. It's not our fault. We have to stay home right now. Okay. Oh, and here's another one that we use all the time, actually, because. Okay. So there you'll see that pattern. This one's super crazy, but we actually see it a lot in words like, let me get another color. I taught you that. Or I caught a fish. Okay. There we go. And then AL. Now you have to be careful because if you look, fault has an L in it too, but you hear the L. This is when that AL smashed together and you only actually hear ah. The L is actually silent. So that would be like in walk. Right? Or in talk. So the sound is actually really important because we actually use it all the time. So you can see that they saved it for last because it's tricky because there's so many different ways to spell it. But this is definitely a sound that you raise your hand for in first or second grade and say, ask your teacher, say, okay, I know it's the ah sound, but I also know there's a gazillion different ways to spell that sound. So, and your first or second grade teacher, or your second grade teacher, I should say, since you're basically a second grader, will tell you because it is too tricky. It's definitely a sound that needs a combination of letters to make. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and read us this week's book called All Kinds of Helpers. And it is in your Small Wonders book. And it's actually the last story that we'll be reading in here this week. Sorry, I just ate popcorn. Every day, people help us in many ways. To help means to give what is needed and useful. It also means to make things better. So helpers are the people who give us what we need and who make our lives better. Who are some of the people who help us? Families can be helpers. The people in a family love and accept us. They also help us in many ways. A family can include a mother and a father. This boy also has a big brother. His brother often helps him with his homework. His mother and father help him learn about the world. Teachers help you in many ways. In school, a teacher helps you learn how to read and write. A teacher teaches you such subjects as math and social studies. A teacher helps you understand new ideas. Sports coaches are helpers too. The baseball coach in this picture is teaching his team how to hold the ball. He talks to them and shows them what to do. Who taught you how to play a sport? Doctors and nurses help keep you healthy. You visit the doctor for a checkup or when you feel sick. The girl in this picture feels awful because she caught a bad cold, but the doctor will help her get better. Do you walk or take a bus to school? Either way, people help you get back and forth safely. Other helpers keep you safe too. Police officers and firefighters are always protecting you. Some boys and girls need a grown-up to talk to. Some groups match boys and girls with a grown-up who will be their friend. What a good idea. A special group called Big Brothers Big Sisters helps some children out. There are many helpers around you. Families love you, and teachers help you learn. Doctors, nurses, and safety helpers keep you healthy and safe. Special groups help you in special ways. All of them give what is needed and useful. So you can see this week we are reading more nonfiction. And the essential question this week is who helps you? And that is a really big question, especially right now in our world, because even though we are staying at home and doing what we call shelter in place, there's people all over the place that are still helping us to stay in our homes. And it's so important. And especially when you are in first grade, you have to rely on a lot of grown-ups to help you with different things. And so I want you to take a second and I want you just to think about who are the people in your life who help you. It did talk about families at a certain point, and the one thing that we need to remember is families look very different. And some of us live with our grandparents in our house, and some of us don't. Some of us live with a cousin or an aunt and an uncle. Some of us have two homes, and we live with mom, and then we live with dad different parts of the time. So families look very different, and that's one of the coolest things about families is all of us have a different world that we live in when we leave room 5. And that's really important to remember, that all of our worlds look a little bit different. And I like to use the word unique. That means special to just you. So that's always important to remember. So I know it's not the most interesting stories this week, but they're stories that, again, we're learning about having to pull the information from it and answer those questions of who helps us. So good luck with your spelling words this week, and I'll see you guys later. I love you and miss you, and there's no place like home. Bye.